My brothers and sisters, may the Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus said to the people in the synagogue at Nazareth, "Amen, I say to you, no prophet is accepted in his own native place. Indeed, I tell you, there were many widows in Israel in the days of Elijah, when the sky was closed for 3.5 years, and a severe famine spread over the entire land. It was to none of these that Elijah was sent, but only to a widow in Zarephath in the land of Sidon. Again, there were many lepers in Israel during the time of Elisha the prophet, yet not one of them was cleansed, but only Naaman the Syrian." When the people in the synagogue heard this, they were all filled with fury. They rose up and drove him out of the town and led him to the brow of the hill on which their town had been built, to hurl him down headlong. But he passed through the midst of them and went away. The Gospel of the Lord. The Jewish people became very protective of the unique relationship they had with God in covenant, to the point that they would see everyone else having no right to it whatsoever. And so it shouldn't surprise us that as Jesus is teaching his own people in Nazareth and suggests to them that God showed mercy and healing in other places than within Israel, they'd be upset about it and end up actually getting to the point of wanting to throw him over the hill, as we're said. We just heard the story of Naaman, the leper from a foreign country, who ends up coming to the prophet in Israel and is cleansed. And this is the first of a series of readings we'll begin to see now during this part of the season of Lent, which were part of, in a sense, the instruction book of the early church, preparing people for baptism. This one in particular is sort of an indication of that, as we talk about going into the waters of the Jordan 7 times to be cleansed. And the cleansing, of course, ultimately in the teaching of the early church was that cleansing that happens for us with baptism. This message that's given today, of course, is a very subtle reminder to you and to me that God continues to work in places we least expect, sometimes impacting and being powerful in individuals that we never would think he would have any kind of place for or reason to have. So let us be mindful that in God's graciousness, he's more than willing to speed where he will and what he will. And let us in ourselves as well then just be open to that possibility, not just for ourselves, but for everyone.